No. That happening?
I think it happened.
I don't see it on the YouTube. Oh, we're live. Tony, go.
I don't even remember our intro. It's been so
Just
long.
saying.
Happy Halloween, folks. This is BatYard's finest, bringing you the latest Superman, Batman, and whatever we feel like.
Yeah.
We're going to go into our first section of the show. BSBS, where we just talk about some BSBS. Does anyone have any BSBS?
Well, I just want to start off by saying this was supposed to be a Halloween episode, but we decided to do this on an even scarier date, the U.S. presidential election date. So we out spooked.
Very spooky.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I want to say. I'm Josh, by the way.
If nobody else has anything, I actually have quite a few things.
Okay, go ahead.
So, I guess to start off with movie news, they're doing a new Nosferatu and Wolfman at the end of this year and the beginning of next year. Nosferatu, I'm more excited for because it's got Bill Skarsgård, Willem Dafoe, and a couple of other names I really like attached to it. And then the Wolfman, it's only 2 trailers out now, but the Wolfman shows a lot of promise I wasn't expecting. I was like, oh, it'll be kind of, that thriller action, but it looks like it's going to be a full thriller all the way through, which I am very much for. And
I think.
What else? Also, rest in peace to Quincy Jones.
Yeah, I was going to post that the other day. I thought that was fucking crazy. I mean, he was up there.
All the way 91. It seems so crazy that, every 90s is starting to be the new set point in age.
Yeah. Well, he all the way from producing Frank Sinatra records to, Michael Jackson, all these greats. And then he was his own well-talented musician himself. He did all these jazz songs and everything. And the Austin Powers theme song.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, that's not even supposed to be for Austin Powers. It's just a song he wrote, and they took that for Austin.
Yeah, I could see that. That's hilarious.
Let me see what else.
Well, I just wanted to ask you about Nosferatu a little bit before we skip past it. So, you said William Dafoe's in it. I know he did. He played Nosferatu in a comedy film, basically where he plays the actor playing the actor back in the 20s. He's playing that actor, but it's a spoof that he's a real vampire. And his name is Max Schreck. So I thought it was just funny that he's in this movie too. The Nosferatu connection. And I finally watched the whole movie over Halloween, and it's really slow. And it's good movie, but it's a little too long.
What movie is that?
What movie was that?
Nosferatu,
the 1990s one.
Yeah, I saw it in a theater. And, had an organ player, a live organ player. It was
that's awesome.
It was just a little long.
How long was it?
It was 4 acts or 5 acts, and I wish it was just 3. It needed to be just 3, but it was good. Especially the shadows and everything. Everything was good, but I think it just needs to be a little shorter. But I don't want to go too much on Nosferatu. I just wanted to.
This new Nosferatu is directed by the Lighthouse guy. I'm pretty sure. So I'm super excited for that.
It looks like it's going to be a really solid movie. I'm upset we didn't get it, for Halloween, but I can get over it because I think I've watched the full amount of trailers out. I think it might be 2 or 3. And each one, I'm like, okay, they're really setting this up yes, he's been around a long time, and whenever he shows up, you might as well consider any parties involved to be dead and deceased.
Yeah.
Oh,
when is it coming out?
Yeah, I believe it's coming out on Christmas this year.
That's odd.
Okay.
So we've got literally a month and 20 days.
Yeah, I think they should have just waited till next October, but that's okay.
Yeah.
If it's good, I can get over it. If it's halfway decent, I'll make minor complaints.
So I saw like a trailer of the Wolfman. I didn't even see it. I just saw it like in the background. What's like? Is it modern day Wolfman? Like I just saw that they're making a new one.
Yeah, it's basically a modernization of Wolfman, and it doesn't look like they're skipping out at all on the body morphing. Because one thing that I noticed was that they're using practical effects again.
Oh, that'd be cool. Okay.
And I was like, oh, we haven't seen that in how long now? Because everybody's like, all right, let's just run right to the green screen and special effects.
Right.
I have two Superman news. I wanted to ask you guys, have you seen these images of like Brendan Fraser in Superman costume?
I have not.
Well, it was like appearing a lot on the internet. I have to find the picture.
Oh, maybe I have.
But
No.
I guess he was gonna be Superman like in the '90s, and it just never happened with like J.G. Abrams directing it, but it just didn't come into fruition. I'll have to find that.
Between him and Nick Cage, they had some really interesting, almost Supermans.
Yeah, I think that Nick Cage movie would have actually been good if they released it. I think this is. I don't know if this is a fish. It looks like a drawing. I keep seeing this picture though. I think it's a drawing, but I'm gonna share it anyway. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. There's. Okay, here it is. Of course, it's super tiny.
What the fuck?
That. I don't think it's an official picture though. I think it's just a drawing. I keep seeing it, and I thought it was official, but I guess not. He looks huge in it, but it looks
He
like
does.
it looks like the Christopher Reeve S. So I don't think it's real. But like I said, they're in talks of it, and they just never haven't.
His neck is super muscular.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been that big.
Yeah.
Like not even on the Mummy was he that big.
Yeah. What was the other thing? Oh, the other Superman news is that the new trailer is probably going to come out soonish, and Crypto the Super Dog is officially in the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I'm kind of excited for that. That's all I know.
What else? I've got one more thing. So if anybody was a big fan of Daft Punk, they're finally doing a US release of their Interstellar 5555 movie next month in theaters.
I didn't even know they made a movie.
They were just part of they did the music for it, which is like universally loved. The soundtrack for that movie, everybody just loves it to pieces.
I know they did the Tron like Legacy soundtrack. Now I heard that was better than the movie.
Yeah,
the soundtrack was good. I like the movie personally. I'm a Tron fan, but if you definitely wanted to see another movie where they did the soundtrack and score for it, I believe tickets go on sale November 13th. So grab them while you can, because I expect it to be a sold out affair, especially considering that, the duo is disbanded, I think, 6 years ago now? No, actually, it's maybe 4.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's been a little while.
Yeah. I have more of a general question.
All right, go ahead.
Has anyone been reading this new Batman?
No.
You know the Batman I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
The one where he's like 350 pounds and he's got like the giant axe on his chest.
No.
And
is this a comic? No. What is this?
Can I share my? I don't know how to share.
Yeah, you could do it. I think. You should be able to.
What's this one called? People were like really upset at the design, but I think it looks cool as hell.
Batman Axeman?
No. Let me find it.
Batman Axeman. I found Batman Axe logo.
Absolute Batman.
Wait, is this it? Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna find.
I found it.
Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Of course.
That's the logo on his chest. Like he can take.
And then it comes out as an axe.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh, that's terrifying.
People did not like it. I think it's the coolest shit.
I think it's weird looking, but
yeah,
like that's it.
I don't really hate it, but
I don't know. They're like if you look at the logo, like the bat symbol itself looks weird as hell. Like it's not a bat.
Can we make that bigger? No, that's you. I guess that's a little bigger.
Let me send this one too. This is the cover. When this came out, I guess it was there was some people not happy with it. But I think it's cool as hell, and I want to read it. That was just my question. If anyone,
no, it looks pretty cool. Actually, I'm like kind of interested in. Look, it looks like he murdered a bunch of people in the background. There's like dead people on the fucking stairs. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea what's going on in the story, but it looks cool as hell.
Kills people with his bad axe.
Yeah. Anyway, that was the one thing.
Okay. What did I do?
I have another Magic update. They made a secret layer for Marvel with Magic, and it sold out like immediately, and people are really upset.
Why are they surprised? The same thing happened with the Lord of the Rings set.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did Lord of the Rings and they did something else. I never played the game, so I don't know anything really about it.
They're also doing a full Spider-Man set with like 150 cards, which people are a little surprised with because
is Aunt May a playable character?
Honestly, probably going to be a card.
I wouldn't doubt it in all seriousness.
That would be really stupid.
And they're doing a SpongeBob set, and they're all going to be legal and standard, and people are not happy because normally these things aren't legal and standard, but they want some money. I, for one, will be buying the SpongeBob Magic cards.
I could not imagine someone who makes a SpongeBob Magic deck.
You're talking to someone that will.
Well, you're going to win. Tony, do you play?
Yeah, from time to time.
I dabble, so I know I'm familiar with some of what Tony's saying.
I play online, and then I'll go to my card shop sometimes when I'm in the mood.
Yeah, that's me. I play a lot more online.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm trying to think. I know there's one more important thing I saw, but I cannot remember.
We didn't talk about the official canceling of Blade.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, that's official?
Yeah, they officially canceled it now.
So, is Wesley Snipes Blade now?
As far as the canon's concerned, yes, he is.
But will SpongeBob be able to defeat McNuggets? Is that a card? That's what Jay said. Is that?
That's my brother.
Is that
That's also a reference.
Is that a card? Is McNuggets?
I don't think. I don't know.
It's a South Park episode where they make fun of magic.
Oh, that's great.
They're gonna give out magic cards and Happy Meal fucking boxes.
They're not too far off, to be honest.
They're not too far off. Everybody else has done it at this point.
Oh, it's a South Park reference. Is that from the new season?
It's old now.
Oh, is that the one where they? Is there like a chicken that plays magic or something? Is that what this is about? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I kind of recall that. Okay. Oh, before we move on, what were you guys for Halloween?
I was an inflatable fall guy.
I love that.
Oh, like from the game?
From
That's
the game.
amazing.
That's funny.
I was Garfield.
Really? You have a
Yeah.
picture?
I do, yeah.
You have to show us.
I will.
Did you sing the song?
There's a Garfield song?
No, it's the what is it? Oh, hold on. It's got a cat in the music video. Hold on. I'm gonna find this.
Garfield song.
Josh, what were you for Halloween?
Oh, I was Frankenstein. I was Frankenstein, and then I did Dracula, but Frankenstein won the costume contest at a brewery. So
Hell yeah.
won $100.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's kind of hard to beat that the next round.
Yeah.
How's the Garfield song go? Jerry, sing it.
I'm looking for it.
We might get copyright struck.
Hold on. I can just show it to you. Wait. It was a damn. Is it
Tony, sing the song.
This?
I don't know.
This. It's this. Hold on.
What is that? Okay, show and stream. There's nothing. Oh, there it is. Ew, what is that?
Oh, I've seen this.
That's
yeah, did you do the? No, it's. I've said Garfield. It's really just a cat song. Because,
I should have sung
he was
this.
a cat. But yeah, that's what it was.
That looked kind of scary. What is that from? The 80s?
It
It's
might
Paul
have been.
Abdul, right?
Yes.
Oh,
already closed the tab out.
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up and watch it later. Okay.
Was it worth being Frozone? That's the question I want to know.
Frozone.
What do you mean worth it?
I was Frozone and my girl. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good costume.
Frozone's cool. He's like one of the coolest characters in that movie. And Mrs. Incredible. That's pretty cool.
That's a.
I know there's one more thing of news that I am forgetting. Hold on while I consult my
be the
Google
coolest
tabs.
character in that movie.
He probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to like Dash.
Dash is good.
He was so fast he had to purposely lose. That's cool as hell.
I remember now. The last bit of news was I haven't watched it yet. I've just seen what other people have said. The new Venom movie, everybody said was kind of just okay.
It came out?
Yeah, it came out last week. 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Is this the third one? Which one is it?
Yeah, this is the third one.
It's got to be 3.
So who's in this?
So apparently they brought in Noel from Marvel Comics in here, and I was just like, why?
What is that? I don't even know what that is.
So they've completely added into the Venom like backstory and lore now. And Noel comes from where the symbiotes live, if I remember right. And I think he is the ruler of all of the symbiotes.
Okay. So he's like dark side.
But how he ties in, I really couldn't tell you.
This is from someone who could care less about those Venom movies. Like I seen like a clip of a movie. I'm like, no thanks, I'm good. Like I don't need to watch these.
Yeah, it's another Sony baby, so it's gonna leave much to be desired.
Did Kraven the Hunter come out? Did that come out? Because that looked like
that got pushed back.
Oh man, I kind of wish that came out. I'd rather watch that.
Honestly, I'm not particularly thrilled. Like, even though it looks good, every single one of Sony's other
it's gonna be awful. It's gonna not be good.
Kraven is such a badass character. Like, please don't fuck him up.
Yeah,
they already did. Like I'm already telling you, it's gonna be awful. Like
I have absolutely no hope in Sony movies.
I kind of want to watch it because it looks so bad. Just like the Madam Web movie. I heard that was so bad.
I knew that was going to be bad, and I didn't bother.
I heard it's funny as hell.
Yeah, I did too. I watched it. I don't really have any other.
I think that's it for me.
I think I don't have
I know
anything
Blade
either.
was the biggest thing I wanted to mention, alongside the two the two new movies for some old titles.
Yeah, I just had those Superman things. All right, Tony.
Yeah. Okay. We're going on to our little appetizer attraction, if you will. For our first feature, we watched Tales from the Crypt. What was it called? What's Cookin'?
What's Cookin'?
And I think I'm gonna since Superman made a surprise appearance in this one, I'm gonna hand this over to the biggest Superman fan I know, Josh, to take us into Tales from the Crypt.
I appreciate the handoff, Tony. This was like my introduction to Tales of the Crypt, by the way. I never watched the show. Yeah, and after watching this, it made me like go like, oh, I would love this show. And then I was looking into like, well, we'll get into that. But anyway, What's Cookin' is about this family, this couple that has this squid restaurant that's basically failing, and they have this new hiree, and he's like, "Oh, I have this barbecue recipe. It'll make you, some money." And then Chris Reeve's character basically passes off like, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." But eventually, he tries his barbecue, and he realizes that it's one of the creditors that he owes money to, and it's a dead body that's in their freezers. So they're serving up people to the community at large, and it's like this ongoing thing that like everybody, like all the town, it's the biggest crave of the town, and then it just turns into madness. And then I don't want to get too much away, but like I said, this show basically reminds me of adult Goosebumps, and I was like a big Goosebumps fan. So it's nice to watch like an actual show that's like to like an adult caliber for my interest. And then I was looking into why the show isn't like widespread distributed, and like what I found is there's something to do with the licensing of the show, and like no one could figure out who owns what, so it just like, hasn't been released. So that's why it's like kind of hard to find. You can only find like bootleg versions on YouTube or probably VHS like copies or that kind of quality. But I gotta say, Chris Reeve was really good. It was cool seeing him like outside of the all do goody like hero type. Like he was just kind of like a regular guy, like who was a baseball fan who likes squid.
Yeah, I really appreciate this show because it's always like it does feel like adult Goosebumps. There's always like a weird twist in the end.
Yeah,
and then there's always those weird cameos like Meatloaf as the
police
officer.
Yeah. I almost forgot that was Meatloaf. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there's a lot of Mr. Chumley. Yeah, Meatloaf was the guy who Chris Reeve like owed money to. I guess like he like gave him a loan.
The sleazy landlord.
Yeah, and then they're serving up him for dinner, basically.
Oh, anybody in the mood for landlord souffle?
And it's like a star-studded cast too. Like there's a lot of cool people in this, like Judd Nelson and who's the cop? The cop.
I know his name, I just can't remember it.
He's in Sandlot. Oh, that's what I know him from. Okay, he's in a bunch of other like fucking 80s movies.
I can't believe this was your introduction into Tales of the Crypt. So I saw like the child-friendly cartoon version, Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
I heard of that. Okay.
And so it was one random day. I think I was sick at my aunt's house, or I know I was sick, but I couldn't remember if I was at home or at my aunt's house. And this was on, and I was like, "Oh, obviously this is not going to be anything crazy."
Yeah.
And I don't remember the exact episode, but I think it involved werewolves and the janitor being one. Because he was just going around killing all of the bad, like, the delinquent teen boys who were causing him trouble and stuff. And from there, I was like, wow, this is definitely not the same thing. And every episode just it's its own level of crazy. Because I've actually seen this one up to about halfway. And then this was a long time ago. I was still in school. And I think I was working on a project or something, and I had to cut it off. And I was like, I'm going to remember to come back and finish this. Never did. So when you said this episode, I'm like, finally, I remember this episode, and I couldn't think to look it up. So finally seeing the whole thing through, I'm like, this show, I don't know how it was approved ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's so graphic for some of the like effects and stuff that they use, like when Mr. Chumley was hung up in the locker, and I can't even think of the guy's name, but the guy who was cooking them, he was just in there cutting them up, and just there you go. Here's a steak that he pulled from a rib. I'm like, guy, what you're doing is not normal. Even though, yes, technically your boss would still get in some legal trouble, you murdered and killed a man.
Yeah. I think that was my favorite part about this episode is just how nonchalant he was. Like, the owner walks into the meat, the walk-in fridge, and just sees him chopping up the body, and he's like, yeah, I'm doing this. Like, he didn't even try to hide it. He's like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, this is what we're doing. Now take this and go feed it to table 4.
Yeah. And I like how it was like tormenting Chris Reeve's character. Like, he like had the secret and he couldn't hold it in any longer, and it was just like obviously like eating at him. And then like he eventually tastes it, and then seems like he enjoys it himself. And then the twist at the end is that like they eventually serve the murderer like up to the public, because the cops like, oh, we need more, we need more meat, so we'll serve you kind of thing.
It was really weird at the end, the twist where he was like, well, I'm hungry and I could go for a nice it was some kind of food joke, obviously, but I'm like, they really took this man's face and put it on a hot grill.
Yeah.
Oh,
I imagine, like, obviously, they use the effects for the smoke and the sizzle, everything. I could not imagine what that actually would feel like. Like, just the sheer pain. Like, oh, it's this entire side. Like, and they're holding it there.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. Well, it's like marinated. That's pretty good,
I guess.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the IMDb. I guess this is like the top rated episode on IMDb.
Yeah, I was trying to find a good one because I loved the show. I discovered it really late too. I think my aunt and my dad would always talk about it because they grew up in the 90s, and this was like a show on HBO in the 90s. I just remember years ago when I was like in high school, I watched the first episode and I was like, what the hell is this? Because if you get a chance, the first episode's a great Christmas episode.
Oh, really? Okay.
This crazy guy just escapes from an insane asylum, and he just like goes to a house dressed as Santa and just like tries to kill the woman inside, and that's the whole episode. It's just
I remember that.
It was great.
I've heard people talk about it.
That's a great episode. And then all these episodes are sick, and I always love the intro and outro from the Crypt Keeper. That's like
he's always got some kind of pun.
the worst ones. Also, if you guys get a chance, there's an episode that's super high rated that has Dan Aykroyd in it about like a firing line. It's like an hour long. It's almost a movie, but it's like they're like executing people at the end of World War II, like the Nazis. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be really good. I watched it a while ago. I don't remember much from it, but it was good.
Yeah, I saw there's like I saw Arnold in one where he's like talking to the Crypt keeper. I just saw like a clip of that. I don't know if he's in the rest of the episode. I just saw that, and like Joe Pesci's in an episode.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of top A Hollywood celebrities who like are in the show. So it's definitely something I want to like dive in and actually watch like the rest of it. It's just hard to find unless
it's
watch
very
like
hard
the version on YouTube.
Yeah, you gotta watch a really shitty version on YouTube these days. I think it's because they're based on comics. And like
it's something with the licensing with that. Yeah,
because Creep Show is based on the same comics, and that's like a series of movies, and it's just weird. Like it's just everyone. I feel like everyone thinks they own it, so no one thinks they own it. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of loaded that way.
That was a thing, wasn't it?
So, do you guys want to go into ratings? Anything else?
I think I basically said everything I needed to say about it. I'd probably give this an 8 out of 10. I would definitely watch it again. I want to watch more episodes and then like have something other episodes to compare it to, but I give it an 8.
They hold the same level of what the fuck am I watching?
That's what is good about it though. Like I said, it's like an adult Goosebumps, and I watch Goosebumps just like because I like to make fun of it, and I love that those 90s effects and like that cheese factor, and then they'll watch this. And they'll watch this and go like, "Oh, there's actual gore in it." I'm like, "Oh shit, okay."
So this was extremely gory.
Yeah,
I'm gonna follow suit with Josh. I'm gonna give this an 8, just excluding the fact I've seen half of this previously, so I'm basing the rest of this on the later half that I missed. This is another one of those things like, oh, it's Halloween. I need something like, not even if you weren't a horror enthusiast and you were like, okay, I just need to play like the most goriest like 30-minute Halloween thing and I can call it a season. You could do that for this and you'd be good for a while. Because the acting's top notch in it. I do like how even with the twist at the end when the cannibal murderer, he takes the gun from the wife and he tells her like, your husband took your gun, he's gonna kill himself. And you could see right there that the gears started turning like, hold on, this guy's a phony.
Yeah.
And then when she got there with the police, he was all like, oh, thank goodness both of you were here. He went crazy. He killed the landlord, and now he's gonna kill me. And then the wife is just like taunting him, like, oh, is he now? Because my husband knows I don't keep my gun loaded.
Right.
And so then he's like, hold on, this is a 2-on-1? And then the sheriff walks in. He's like, you got to help me. You got it. He's like, what seems to be the trouble here, folks? And I just think that's the goofiest thing to have at the end of that plot twist. Like, well, you got some fresh meat right there. Go ahead, throw it on the grill. Yeah, and when you're done, cut me off a shank for later.
I wanted to ask you too, Tony. Did you realize both of these things came out in '92? Because
no, that's really funny.
That was super coincidental. I know.
I did not notice that. I did not notice that. That's great.
Yeah, I realized that when I typed it out, like looking it up just for this episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they just did some things better in the '90s. You could just have batshit crazy stuff in the '90s.
Practical effects too. It's like mix of good practical effects and like the CGI is pretty competent at the same time. So like you had to use both layers. It was just multiple illusions going on at the same time. Like in
and you could also push the envelope a little bit too with some
exactly.
Because like I would not would I imagine seeing this today? Yes, in a haunted house.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that's exactly what I think of when I watch this episode. I'm like, yeah, this would be a really great inspiration for a haunted house. But like,
I can see that.
I'm, like 20 years old back in the 90s when this came out. This would have absolutely given me nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because of how distorted the landlord's face was. He was just like, they got the frozen effect on him, and then they gave him the droop, like he had just been hanging around upside down for a long time. So I'm like, oh, that's kind of nasty. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those bodies were like really effective. Like I said, like the practical effects were like really top notch.
Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, they were really good.
So I think I'm also gonna follow suit and give this an 8. I think it's a very strong episode with a lot of great actors and. No, I don't. It's hard to describe the show because it's like funny, but it's not funny. It's like so gross, but it's like
I think you can tell the show just that it's funny.
Yeah, you could tell it just has like a sense of humor and just like the little things. It's like you just start and it's like, yeah, I'm running a squid restaurant because I want to run a squid restaurant.
Yeah, it's like the worst idea.
Idea.
It's just like the little things like that where it's like this is just
that is cool.
Batshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really do like this episode. I don't know. Yeah, give it an 8. I think the show's really good. You can just pick pretty much any random episode and get some random stuff. Also, you kind of know, like when you have a show called What's Cooking and it's about a restaurant, like it's kind of not too hard to predict that there's like some cannibalism involved.
Yeah,
maybe
that's true.
Even when that happened, they still found a way to have like a really good twist and like keep it interesting. Right. Even if you kind of clocked that from the beginning.
Yeah, you kind of like Chris Reeve is gonna like dig his own hole, like he's gonna like be trapped in it. It's like, how is he gonna get out of this one? And then you realize like he kind of has it out their hand at the end, which is
So that was What's Cooking, and now for a feature attraction, we're gonna talk about. Last time we talked about Army of Darkness, which is one of the craziest movies I've ever seen.
I think this is crazier.
Now we're going to talk about Dead Alive or Brain Dead, which is probably the craziest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hand this off to Jerry because I'm genuinely so curious how Jerry felt about this movie.
I have many things to say. All of them are good, but I have many things to say. So the movie opens up with this dum-dum transporting a deranged and sick animal back to a zoo because somebody paid him a fat check and it bit him and he had to die because he carried the rabies virus. And so the animal still ended up at the zoo. And we are also introduced to a young woman named Paquita, who is, she's young, she's looking for love. So she consults her medium mother to, just do a tarot reading. And so her mother tells her, when you see this sign, that's when your lover will come into your life. And she meets, kind of the awkward guy, but, he's, very friendly. They hit it off very chumly. And so he also has a very overbearing mother who is a crazy bitch. And so she's one of those mothers who's like, I'm the only one who's good enough for my son. No woman can do what I can do for my son. And so she follows them after they make a date to go to the zoo. And while there, you can see he's troubled by, PTSD looking at water. And then they stumble upon this deranged looking, sick fucking rat gib monkey. And it tears the arm off another monkey and eats it like some kind of sick pervert because it's just, and it's just making all these weird sounds that I hate.
I like the stop motion effect there. That was cool.
And then the zookeeper, who has disgusting, dirty brown cigarette stained teeth, tells them, "Yeah, this thing, it comes from a real far off place. It's weird, right? You know, it's a good thing you can only find it in one place." And then, as he's taking the deceased carcass of this monkey who just had its arm ripped from the socket, and so the man's mother stumbles and falls into the enclosure of this rat gib monkey thing, animatronic puppet piece of shit, and it bites her, and then she steps on its head with her heel and pops its skull and eyes out.
Yeah.
And then from there, she gets a horrible, horrible infection of AIDS, and she slowly begins infecting everyone and driving a wedge into her son's potential love life, because he's very interested in Esmeralda, because she's a very nice woman. She's very, slow with him. She understands he's got, a little bit of, nerves, and he's not used to, being, pursued in a romantic interest. But eventually he harbors a dark secret that his now AIDS infested mother is very sick and is dwindling in health, that has infected now 2 other people. And as her condition worsens, he goes to this shady Nazi to buy some bull elephant tranquilizer and injects it into his mother and a victim of hers who's also now infected with AIDS, but also turned into a zombie. And so they're locked up in the basement, and he just keeps drugging them. And eventually the mother's corpse comes out and gets hit by a bus. They hold a fake, real funeral fake. And within there, they get more of the zombie aid juice on other people. And now it's a mass hysteria of people being attacked. The house that he grew up in being blackmailed out of him by his weird, very predatory like uncle. And after that, his mom turns into this gross looking blob thing from Akira after being given some steroids and HGH and bovine growth hormone. And he uses a pendant that he got from Esmeralda's mother as a symbol of protection to cut his way out of his mom's stomach to be born again, to save his potential girlfriend, fiance, wife. And they kiss and go off into the sunset.
Yeah. No, well, you basically did the whole movie. And you remind me of parts I fucking forgot, like the mother like becoming giant. I almost forgot about that part. Tony, I want to say, I want to give you the things I liked about this before.
I'm going to wait and let Josh go because I've got a lot to say.
So the things I did like, I liked the stop motion puppet, the rat monkey. That was fun. What else I like? I like the effects of like the grotesque like effects, like when the mother stomped out that rat monkey's head. That was fun. It reminded me of like some kid's bubblegum like thing that they would have made, like some like puppet they made out of bubblegum and like filled it up with like corn syrup. I'm like, yeah, that's our toy. I mean, that's our effect. It's like a bubblegum thing. And then like the effects of like how the people looked was cool. And then like what else? I guess and I liked how the like the setting of like the big like blowout with like all the monsters was like set at a party. I always kind of had that idea that would be a cool like setting for like a zombie outbreak to happen, and it kind of like, you know, I had that idea before I even seen this movie, so I was like, oh, this is like kind of like the idea I kind of had. So I always thought that was like a good setting for that kind of situation, you know, because like everyone's happy and like drunk and stumbling on each other.
Super
and then like,
drunk. Oh yeah, my
and then, like they have like zombies like outbreak, and like the lady who's like got shoved in a bulb. That was awesome. She was just like in the background the whole time. That was really funny. The stuff I found was weird was the acting was super off the whole and like it was like, I don't know, it wasn't just that they're from New Zealand, like it wasn't the accent, it was just like they were just fucking like, it was just so just something about their demeanor and how they like presented themselves, like projected their dialogue was just off. It was just not correct how people would respond. But like until stuff kind of got real, like when there's blood and gore, it felt like the acting was getting better, like when that situation was gonna happen. But once there was like a love story between the two characters, like this is fucking weird. These characters are weird. And then I was thinking the whole time, like, this guy made Lord of the Rings. What the fuck? So that was basically my thought process throughout the movie.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if you've seen this and you've seen the other movies that came before Lord of the Rings that aren't much tamer. Like I don't know why he was given the green light to make Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
and
why him?
hundreds of millions of dollars,
yeah.
but
Tony, I'm gonna level with you, brother. The camera work was absolutely top notch.
Yeah.
It was quality. Now, the acting, I agree with Josh. It was very weird, but for me, it added to the cheese of it. Because if you remove the horror and just add in romance, this is a great, fun film to just watch. It's one of those like, hey, this is a first date. You want to watch a bad because it's so apparent that Paquita, and I'm just call him Norman because he reminds me of Norman Bates.
I forget his name.
But it's obvious they have a mutual attraction for each other, but the mom is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually it would lead to the son saying, Mom, I'm leaving and I'm not coming back. Now, the bits in between that I also liked. I liked the fact that in the beginning, when the dude got bit by the rat gib monkey baboon crazy looking thing, I want you to know I was laughing when he got kicked in the face and he fell out and they were just like, all right, we got to cut this arm. No, it's this arm.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, guys. We got to behead him. That's what we need. Like, it's a very campy movie.
Yeah.
Like, and I haven't got into the things that I absolutely found atrocious yet. But something else that really added to the comedy was seeing the pastor fight these zombie punks, and he knocked one of them down to just a torso.
That was
fun until so great. It reminded me of Beverly Hills Ninja.
I could see that. Like
that was so much fun to see. Now for the things I hate. I did not enjoy watching two zombies humping.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
That was weird.
Peter Jackson, if we ever make it to the same place.
And then they had a baby, which made it even worse.
And it's an ugly baby.
Yeah,
it's like a don't have eyes baby.
And of course,
it's a long-term baby.
Is the priest, which made it even like more off. Oh my god!
And the fact that the nurse was a very nice woman who was trying to help, but unfortunately, she did end up having her head broken.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is the appropriate thing to say. Another thing I hated when they were eating. I was also eating.
Yeah.
And I was eating eggs.
Oh no.
So Tony, if I ever see you, just know I'm going to buy 100 ostrich eggs and I'm going to egg you to death.
One ostrich egg is the equivalent of 24 eggs. So you're getting pelted by a hell of a lot of eggs.
Yeah, I deserve that.
That was so sick.
Yeah.
And then this was of no fault of the movie. This was the character. The actress played the part very well. The mother. I wish I knew her name.
The mother was good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love actors who, older actors, obviously.
He was fully committed
how to play the controlling parent, and they make you want to hate them for how just vile that they are. Because if this was any other genre outside of horror, the mother would be saying, here's a check. Write however much you want and leave my son the hell alone. And then it comes back to bite her at the end saying, remember this check? I wrote down $50 million. Thanks, mother-in-law. And she just laughs to the bank because, obviously it's going to work out in her favor before she could put a stop payment on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Also, the son. For me, he reminded me a lot of. I wish I could remember his name, but the scientist from The Fly who did all of the body acting. After he had did from the original Fly, not with.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But you know how when he was in the park with the baby and he's just fighting with an obvious doll, but because of how he himself looks, just tired, very, very tinfoil hat. I was like, okay, this is a really great scene. And I love how just minor it is. And you can see the little strings for the puppet too. That was something else that was fun. Another thing I hated. Watching the mom devolve was sick.
Yeah, it was fucked up.
I hated every scene that was in, especially when she shot the pus in that dude's custard.
Yeah.
That was disgusting.
That was bad.
Like, movies don't make me squeamish, but having to watch that and then rethink about it for the episode.
It was good custard.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I remember seeing, like, I opened the video. I'd never seen this movie before. I recommended it. I always just heard it's like one of the grossest, darkest, funniest movie, and it's like it somehow got Peter Jackson the Lord of the Rings franchise.
I know, that's what's crazy about it. Like,
everything about this movie is weird.
Yeah. So I saw a comment and it was like, I'll never be able to eat custard again. And I was like, oh boy, let's see what this is all about. And then I got to it and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I can eat custard ever again.
I wanted to mention another part, like when he's like flashing back to that woman drowning or whatever.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, his father's mistress, his mom.
Yeah, and then like
drowned both of them.
Yeah, she killed them, right? The mother.
Yeah, she killed them.
Yeah. So that kind of remind me. It gave me like a flashback of like just like when Frodo is like gonna fall into the swamp,
the volcano.
Yeah, by the bog, and it's like don't follow the lights with the dead people like in the water, like reaching out for him. It kind of reminded me of that. So I was like, oh, I could see like Peter Jackson kind of. Like that, like
inspiration shot for that.
Yeah, I could see like where the Peter Jackson was. So I was like, okay, I could see like Peter Jackson kind of inspiring himself with that, or like his involvement with that. That's where I kind of saw Peter Jackson's directing. I was like, okay, I could see it there. Everything else was like just so off. The lawnmower was pretty fun.
That was
that was fun. I just skipped right over that.
Oh, come on. That was like one of the best parts.
It was, but I was just the zombies humping really just.
Yeah, it kind of took.
And you have to listen to it. And it's very prevalent.
The one thing I did think was funny about that was the creepy guy.
Yeah, he was like, is that the video of your dad? I'm like, what are you saying?
So ridiculous.
With the lawnmower, everyone like turned into like Ivan Ooze. Like it was just like pink pus. It wasn't even blood at that point. They just turned into like strawberry yogurt. It wasn't like even blood.
Just ragu.
Yeah. It was just like pink yogurt.
Just the collection of organs that was following him around.
Oh yeah, when they're like puppeted and moved around like in the vents and stuff in the attic. That was fucking wild. That was really gross.
That's the one thing I will give this movie credit for. I did enjoy it a lot. I think that there was I don't know. I wouldn't call it pacing issues because the last half hour is bad shit. So whatever happened before kind of made up for it.
Yeah.
But there were just some moments where it was like I don't know. I was with Josh where it was like this is a little off. Something's a little strange. Not really feeling the vibe.
Yeah, the love story I was not into. I was like, they're just acting so weird. They're not acting like people. And I feel like that's Peter Jackson didn't figure out his like directing style quite yet. I don't know how early this film was like for his career. If this is like one of his first films, it has to be, right?
It's like his third, I
Is it?
think. He had Meet the Peebles, which is like the puppet movie.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Bad Taste.
I never seen that yet.
Bad Taste feels like this, where it's paced a little odd as well. But yeah, I think I definitely feel that. But I think just the sheer amount of ideas and the weirdness of the ideas just makes this amazing for me, because like some of this stuff is like just ideas that you would never expect to see in a movie, and like we haven't seen since. It's just like not just that it is like super gory. It's just the like how they use gore, and just like, oh, let's just do something weird instead of just like.
Yeah, this movie was insanely gory for even on like the most randomest scenes.
Yeah.
Like when they first introduced the, I can't even remember what the natives had called it, but it was like they just kept repeating this word and they just kept hacking away at the guy.
Oh yeah.
And then even when we finally see it and it straight up pulls the arm of that monkey, I'm like, what are we doing?
I liked
like you can see where they try to resemble bone. I'm like, what? Good God.
I do like how puppety and like messed up that monkey looked, because just imagine going to a real zoo and seeing that thing.
I would be traumatized.
That would be the funniest thing.
Whoa.
And it was just funny watching the movie and just picturing like how many checks and how many people in authority had to look at that monkey and be like, yeah, this monkey's fine, put him in the zoo.
Right.
Like just hundreds of people being like, yeah, it's fine, go ahead with it.
Well, it's like there was no barrier or like moat around. Like,
yeah,
like literally, like the cage chain link fence was like neck and neck with this other monkey exhibit, so like it could just reach in and fucking rip its arm off, and then like the chain link fence is just right close to the public, so like the mother could just get her like Achilles get bitten off. You know, it was just stupid. Yeah, that didn't make any sense. But at that point, I wasn't like really questioning the movie's logic. I'm like, whatever, it's just a silly comedy.
It's part of the bit.
Yeah. Exactly.
I like that, because it's just like this movie is just so ridiculous that nothing makes sense anymore. I'm like,
it definitely has like Evil Dead vibes.
Oh, easily.
For sure.
Just how over the top some things had to be.
I mean, Evil Dead for me is like more executed and just more rounded with the characters and everything. It's not like with Evil Dead, like I'm like, all right, I just want the gore to happen. Like I actually invested in the Ash character and everything, and like the slower moments actually build up. But like with this love story, it's just so off, and the acting's just so off. I don't know what the hell it is. I don't even know how to describe why it's off. It just is.
It's like the characters have attraction, but the actors don't. So it's like, I think you're, I'm sure you're a nice actor and a nice person, but it's like that awkward moment where you go for like hug and
I did like the guy that she ended up like when everyone thought he was crazy and like this weird pervert. I did like the guy that she started talking to and was like around the whole time, because it would just cut to like them walking together, and he would just be like,
he'd be right there.
He would just be going on and on about like rugby or stupid shit, because he's like, and then I drop kicked the ball and then we won the game. Standing there like, oh my god,
thanks, gee willikers, gee whiz, man, that's so cool. I'm not gonna have a malt with you later, but man, that's so interesting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know if the acting was supposed to be off on purpose, because like I could see it kind of adding to the comedic bit.
If it wasn't supposed to be off like this, I would be very surprised, because everything about it is like the whole thing is awkward.
Yeah,
like Mom, why do you just have this random giant piece of jewelry to hand out to strangers?
Right.
What are you doing with that? Norman Bates, why are you still 40 years old listening to a decrepit woman tell you how to live your life? Who killed your father?
I don't know. Part of me thinks that
I think he's supposed to be younger, but he's definitely looks like he's 40. So
yeah,
he's.
I think probably realistically, Peter Jackson had some ideas for set pieces and constructed a movie around it and put some jokes in.
Yeah, you're probably right. I would be interesting to see like the behind the scenes of it, or like how they put it together. But like, I don't know. It's so crazy to see this and go like, yeah, this guy made Lord of the Rings.
It's one of those things you just would never attach to a name.
Yeah,
because that's like, what's another one that people always forget about? Oh, and I was just talking about this with some coworkers.
Was it a trilogy?
No, it was like somebody who did a completely left field project before becoming on for an A-list thing.
Okay. There's a lot of directors like that.
I'll think about it later, and I'll mention it next episode.
Taika Waititi?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. That is weird. He has had a weird career.
Yeah,
Has Peter Jackson done anything after Lord of the Rings that wasn't Lord of the Rings?
What do you mean?
I think so.
Because he did Lord of the Rings and then he did the Hobbit trilogy, and then apparently he's doing the Amazon Lord of the Rings. Does he have anything else in his career that's not these weirdo shoestring budget?
King Kong. He did that King Kong movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
They did do that. Kong movie.
He just did that Beatles documentary. I don't know if you could really count that. That Let It Be Sessions one. I forget what it's called already.
Yeah.
Get Back. That's what it is. He did Tintin. I think he.
Yeah, he did do Tintin.
I actually like that movie.
I'm looking at his filmography now, and he did the Mortal Engines.
I don't even know. I heard that like flopped.
Yeah. He also was the producer of District 9.
I
didn't know that. And now that I think about it, it makes sense.
Yeah, this is closer to District 9 than it is to
this is a
Lord of the Rings.
I can see the attachment on District
9.
Like very weird, very okay, let's do something to really shock people.
Dude, District 9 is such a good movie.
Crazy sci-fi movie. If anyone watching is looking for a really good sci-fi movie that's going to take a turn, District 9. I will love that movie. Whenever I get a chance, I try to watch it.
It's really good.
I think I just seen parts of it. I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
Once you watch the whole thing, the parts you see don't do it justice.
Yeah.
I get to see that.
It's a whole... District 9 is an experience. It's hard to just describe.
Maybe for future.
Who knows? That might be one of the picks I have for today.
Okay. Spooky. I think I'm just gonna go on my final thoughts. I don't really have.
Yeah, I'd say everything fun and bad about the movie.
Yeah. Overall, I had a fun time with the movie. Would I watch it again? Probably, maybe. Like it was. I don't know. It would be kind of like hard to tell, but like I probably would watch it again, but like it would take a while for me to watch it again. But
yeah,
I would give this a 6 out of 10. It's a little above average with the effects and stuff. The acting and everything just kind of throws me off, and like the pacing throws me off with it. But there are definitely some like strokes of genius and like the comedic things with like just the light bulb lady in the background was like one of my favorite bits of the whole movie. So that was great.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit with Josh. It also before that, one of my friends commented hi, so I just want to say hi, Donisha. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Thank you.
But for me, I'm gonna give it a 7 just because it's Peter Jackson. Like there are a lot of things to love about the movie, even outside of some of the shots that he filmed, because the how he wrote, how he filmed some of the scenes with the zombies, and how long it took people to kind of realize, like, oh, there's something ulterior going on here. And then also just how much the zombie juices have infected other people now. So I'm like, you people didn't think like, oh, this corpse doesn't look right in any capacity. Let's call in a biohazard or something.
Yeah, you would think.
But it even through some of the weirder things, I do think it's a fun movie. Personally, I'm not watching this movie again for a long time.
Yeah.
It is, even through all the goofiness, it is very graphic and gory. And that is a part of the charm for it because you got to have something. Because while I did find the different parts of the New Zealand comedy funny, I'm not from New Zealand, so I don't know what their humor is like. It was. I would say this is definitely a movie you watch at least once to say you've watched it.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I'm going to be a little more generous than you guys. I think I'd give it an 8.
I hope. We don't give it 6,
I just think that it was like really, really risky in like every way.
That's true.
And I think it paid off because he made Lord of the Rings. But I think that even like the weird crazy moments, it's like more than just blood. Like there's like creative ideas and thoughts behind it, which I thought was really enjoyable.
There's almost Three Stooges, like
exactly.
It's like with just like one zombie, how they died, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like the head sliding around on the floor, that was fun.
Over the top.
Know how they execute
for no reason. That was over the top, and I was there for it.
Just the guy slicing, and you can just see him slicing, and you just see in the foreground all the crazy stuff happening.
Yeah.
I think it was very enjoyable, but it's a little excessive to the point where this is probably a watch once every 10 years type of movie.
Yeah.
I think if you're a horror fan, there's some movies that I had a buddy that told me, like, there's some movies as a horror fan that like are iconic or infamous, and this is definitely one of them. And this is more enjoyable than some of the other ones, but this is definitely one that you don't need to make a habit of watching every year. But it's cool to see once, and it was fun. So
you got that right.
Yeah.
Well, that was Dead Alive, and what was the other one? What's Cookin? And before we close out, Jerry has the next picks for next episode.
So I need to find the specific episode because I think that this character comes in I think 2 or 3 different ones. But we're going to be watching the 90s Spider-Man. I think the first episode with Blade. I need to make sure.
Oh, Blade's in it? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Blade made an appearance in a couple of different episodes.
Cool. Oh, okay. I think it. Okay.
And then, Josh, I'm finally going to make you watch Blade.
Okay.
You're going to finally watch the first Blade. You're going to see I think this is the one with the infamous scene.
Yeah.
Of the Vampire Club. If I'm wrong, then I'll switch it to the other one. But that's the movie I really want you to see.
Okay.
Because once you see it, you're gonna be like, I understand entirely why people made a joke of this one scene because it's the most iconic thing they have going on.
I know they're like dancing in a club or something. I don't want to get it.
You know it. You just haven't seen everything else that goes with it.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm looking forward to that. So make sure to watch Blade and Spider-Man animated series Blade episode, whichever that episode is. We'll figure it out.
To be determined.
Yeah. All right, Tony, take us away.
This has been BatYard's Finest. I'm Tony. Thank you all for joining us from Star City.
I'm Jerry, guiding you all with Green Lantern's light.
I'm Josh, sending you off up, and away until next BatYard's finest episode.
And we're becoming super friends, one episode at a time.
Yeah.
Yay.
Pretty good. All right. Thank you, everybody. Happy
Good night,
Halloween.
everybody.
Happy Election Day. Scare.